Even though Li Qiye completely understood the profound truths and the very core of the dual invisible blades technique, his mortal body simply could not keep up with his mind's commands. He demanded absolute perfection in every single stance. Yet, bounded by the physical limits of an ordinary 13-year-old boy, reaching the absolute pinnacle of martial arts was an incredibly arduous task. However, Li Qiye was not a man who would easily surrender to such trivial obstacles. He refused to abandon his efforts and continued to relentlessly practice the martial arts stances amidst the quiet solitude of the night. The sweat forming on his face and body did not deter his spirit in the slightest. With each swing of his blades, his movements became increasingly refined and flawless. This rigorous training was the only way to bridge the massive gap between his immensely powerful soul and his currently weak, fragile body. After enduring a long, exhausting night, Li Qiye had swung his blades and practiced his forms over 300 times. Finally, he slowly grasped the profound underlying truth hidden within this dual blade technique. Each blade he struck out began to exhibit a terrifying accuracy and sharpness. The crescent-shaped dual blades in his hands flowed together, slicing through the air like the wings of a dancing butterfly. Although these weapons were merely mortal tier and the technique itself was fundamental, in the hands of a being who had weathered millions of years, they transformed into lethal, destructive instruments. Li Qiye knew perfectly well that to reach the absolute apex, one must never stop improving. The experiences of his past lives had taught him a paramount lesson, proving that relentless effort is the most crucial foundation of any cultivation.
While he was deeply concentrated on his training, the haunting image of the Heaven Demon Grotto suddenly surfaced in his mind. Li Qiye deeply understood that if he truly wished to completely decimate the Heaven Demon Grotto and raze it to the ground, he had to increase his efforts tenfold, no, hundreds of folds, to achieve this monumental goal. In the current era, there was absolutely no one left in this world who understood the terrifying nature and the mysterious dark power of the Heaven Demon Grotto better than him. That accursed place had imprisoned and controlled his soul in the form of the Dark Crow for an eternity. The deep-seated vengeance and the fierce determination to liberate this world from their clutches were the driving forces pushing him to grow stronger as fast as humanly possible. He would absolutely not allow his current physical weakness to stand as an obstacle in his path.
Because of this burning resolve, throughout the past 3 days, Li Qiye had not taken a single step out of his villa on the lonely peak. He imprisoned himself completely in the inner sanctum, isolating himself from the world to refine and perfect his dual blade technique to the highest degree. The world of cultivation is fraught with countless uncertainties and unforeseen dangers. He knew all too well that the impending journey to the 9-Saint Demon Gate for his trial was not going to be the simple task others believed it to be. Even with the vast knowledge and experience of an immortal emperor, his current lack of physical strength meant he had to be fully prepared for any situation. This solitary meditation and intense training brought total tranquility to his mind and fully awakened his body. He was now entirely ready to face any challenge, be it insults, brutal trials, or life-threatening dangers.
3 days later, the fateful journey to the 9-Saint Demon Gate finally began. Li Qiye emerged from his villa with a graceful and remarkably calm demeanor. However, when he looked at the traveling party the sect had prepared for him, he found only 2 people waiting. The first was Nan Huairen, a junior disciple tasked with managing the outer areas, and the other was a middle-aged protector with a stern, emotionless face. This protector, bearing the surname Mo, was also Nan Huairen's master. The morning atmosphere on the lonely peak was incredibly desolate. There was no grand farewell ceremony, no honorable procession. There was only a profound emptiness that clearly reflected the steep decline of the cleansing incense ancient sect, as well as their blatant disregard for this journey.
Li Qiye looked at the meager traveling party of merely 3 people with an unpredictable gaze. The cleansing incense ancient sect boasted a total of 6 high elders, 12 protectors, and 36 sectional leaders. Yet today, for a journey to visit a grand and powerful sect like the 9-Saint Demon Gate, to handle something as significant as a marriage trial, the sect had only dispatched an ordinary protector as their highest-ranking representative. It was a deeply shameful situation, one for which no words could adequately describe the sheer humiliation. This action was not merely a profound disrespect toward Li Qiye in his role as the prime disciple, but it also blatantly showcased the cowardly fear of the sect's elders as they desperately tried to wash their hands of any responsibility.
Nan Huairen, a quick-witted fellow who could easily read the room, immediately noticed Li Qiye's questioning and critical gaze. Feeling incredibly awkward, he quickly stepped forward. Feigning a cough to mask his deep shame, he tried to explain in a polite tone, saying that all the elders were currently in secluded cultivation, and therefore could not make the trip with them. Nan Huairen's excuse sounded completely absurd and illogical. Even he himself knew full well that this was nothing but a shallow pretext fabricated by the elders to avoid facing the 9-Saint Demon Gate. Nan Huairen tried his absolute best to salvage the situation and keep things from getting worse, but he simply could not hide this shameful truth from Li Qiye's piercing eyes.
Li Qiye did not erupt in anger or throw a tantrum. Instead, the corners of his mouth merely curled into a cold, mocking smirk as he spoke with a voice dripping in sarcasm. He coldly asked if they were truly in secluded cultivation, or if they were simply terrified of losing face. Ultimately, they firmly believe that I have absolutely no chance of passing this trial. Me failing the trial is just a trivial matter to them, but them being present at the 9-Saint Demon Gate and suffering public humiliation would be the real disaster, right? Li Qiye's blunt and painfully accurate words plunged the atmosphere into total silence, perfectly diagnosing the cowardice of the higher-ups. To them, their hollow pride was vastly more important than supporting their own disciple.
Despite seeing right through the cowardice of the upper echelons, Li Qiye maintained his impeccable manners. Nan Huairen, terrified that Li Qiye might spout even more insulting remarks about the sect, quickly introduced Protector Mo as his master and a protector of the sect. Li Qiye effortlessly shifted his demeanor. He bowed his head and brought his hands together, greeting Protector Mo with just the right amount of courtesy and respect, asking for guidance on the trip. His greeting was neither too rigid nor excessively subservient. Protector Mo glanced at the young man with an impassive expression, showing neither impression nor disgust. As an older protector with only slightly above-average cultivation and lacking the social skills to flatter others, his position in the sect was quite low. That was precisely why he was shoved into this unwanted task.
The long journey officially commenced, as Protector Mo briefly stated that they should go now. He led the way down the peak without bothering to converse with anyone. The atmosphere of the trip was heavy with silence and immense awkwardness, and throughout the long road, hardly a single word was spoken. Protector Mo and the sect's higher-ups all knew perfectly well that this journey was essentially a grand comedic play, with Li Qiye cast as the main character. If their audience at the 9-Saint Demon Gate was displeased, death might very well be the unavoidable outcome. Protector Mo himself firmly believed that absolutely nothing positive would come of this trip, rendering his mood even more foul and irritable than usual. He could only walk in silence, leaving everything to fate.
The silent journey continued until the 3 of them finally arrived at the grand temple of the cleansing incense ancient sect. This temple was incredibly massive, spacious enough to easily accommodate 10,000 people. If one were to search across the entire Grand Middle Territory, it would be immensely difficult to find any temple that could rival its sheer grandeur. The structure itself was forged from heavenly stones and sacred crystals, glowing with a jade-green hue that looked ancient and radiated a powerful holy aura. No matter how far the cleansing incense ancient sect had fallen and decayed in the present day, this temple still stood tall as an undeniable testament to the supreme power and glory it once wielded. It was a permanent reminder that this place was once the lineage of a grand immortal emperor.
High above the temple, one could see exquisite calligraphy carved by the hands of immortal Emperor Min Ren himself. Every single character emanated an aura of boundless courage, profound beyond any mortal comprehension. It felt as though every word and phrase was alive, possessing the terrifying power to erase existence itself from the annals of history. Just by standing there and gazing upon these characters, one could truly appreciate the ancient, immense power deeply hidden within this dying sect. The raw power of an immortal emperor was still deeply rooted in every molecule of the heavenly stones. It served as a symbol of an unshakable will and a representation of a majestic glory that had fiercely defied the passage of time for tens of thousands of years.
Li Qiye stopped and stared at the temple, his heart flooded with ancient memories. This temple was not merely a place for holding ceremonies. It was the very starting point of all the conquests and expeditions made by the great emperor. In the ancient past, Min Ren had conducted sacred ceremonies right here, rallying the morale of his troops and declaring war before leading his invincible army to conquer the 9 worlds. Li Qiye remembered it perfectly, envisioning the sight of hundreds of thousands of troops standing proudly, their war banners fluttering so wildly they blotted out the sun. The majestic grandeur of that era sharply contrasted with the depressing sight of today's pathetic 3-man traveling party. Only a true immortal emperor lineage could rightfully possess such a sacred and honorable temple.
After passing through the spatial gateway, they finally arrived at the entrance of the 9-Saint Demon Gate. The moment they stepped out, immediately felt the dense, pure essence of natural spirit energy, far thicker than any place they had ever known. Stretching as far as the eye could see, this was truly a heavenly sect. The territory of the 9-Saint Demon Gate spanned millions of miles, filled with complex mountains, winding rivers, majestic waterfalls, and towering sacred trees that pierced the heavens. Marble palaces floated gracefully, hiding among the clouds in the endless distance. Deep within, powerful radiant auras pierced through the landscape, hinting at shocking heavenly treasures hidden inside. This atmosphere vividly displayed the wealth and power of a sect capable of ruling a country, making the cleansing incense ancient sect look like a destitute, dying old man by comparison. As the 3 walked through the gateway, they were met by a middle-aged man leading a group of disciples to welcome them. This man was sectional leader Fu, and he possessed a cold, arrogant face. His eyes held a heavy, oppressive gaze, and his body naturally radiated a formidable aura. Despite being merely a sectional leader, his cultivation had reached the named hero level, a realm only elders could reach in the cleansing incense ancient sect. Sectional leader Fu greeted Protector Mo dismissively before glancing at Li Qiye with clear disdain, asking if this was truly their prime disciple. Protector Mo could only smile bitterly, accepting the humiliating reality. Yet, Li Qiye was completely unfazed by the oppressive aura. He elegantly returned a faint, cool smile to sectional leader Fu, casually declaring that it was only a trial, and he couldn't see what was so difficult about it. The young man's superior, fearless attitude was about to set the stage for a major confrontation in enemy territory.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up to show your support. And if you don't want to miss out on more fun stories or great insights like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop a new video. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next one. Bye for now.